Man, some foreign horror films are well done in many ways. They can really do the right kind of scares, and they can also put somebody on the verge of tears. Well,
Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. Not be all else to me, save that thou art. High King of heaven, thou art. Hey, wanna play hide and clap?
hey everyone, it's Donji Corleone here, and I am here with a new episode of Halloween Horror Review 6, the beginning of the final week of the season. And this episode is going to be for 2016's, ironically, a zombie horror film. But here's the catch. It's a foreign one. Yeah. A foreign zombie film that another one request from Wanzel Pictures. There were three Wanzel Pictures requests. First was From Beyond. Second was Creature from Black Lagoon, which is going to be wrapping up the season at the end of the week for Halloween on Friday. And of course, the second request was this movie. And I realized, man, I still need to watch this film. And so I subbed out one episode. I forgot which movie it was originally going to be for this. Oh well, next year that one I originally was going to review can happen next year. Next year, people. Oh yeah. So this film is going to be for none other than 2016's Train to Busan, a very popular horror zombie film. So what is the plot of Train to Busan? Well, Sok-woo, a father with not much time for his daughter Soo-an, are boarding into the KTX, a fast train that's going to bring them from Seoul to Busan. During their journey, an apocalypse begins, and most of Earth's population becomes flesh-craving zombies. So while the KTX is shooting towards Busan, the passengers fight for their families and lives against the zombies and each other. So, as my reaction, originally not planned at the time for this season, I remembered I needed to watch this, and decided after Wanzel had requested I check this movie out, I remembered it, so I decided I would replace the episode with this for this one. And you know what? Because it thankfully was still on Netflix around this time, thankfully, I watched it on Netflix. Do you know what? I'm so glad I totally did. Because this film is easily one of the best zombie movies and one of the best horror movies of all time. If I had to say, what's the best modern zombie film of all time? It is so this. Easily such a great filmmaking masterpiece in horror. Like, there's a reason why sometimes foreign films can be better than domestic films. Because here's the thing. A lot of foreign-made films can have better direction. You know, they're actually not afraid to actually be serious with their emotional scenes. Or if it's a foreign horror movie, they actually really build the scares well. Or build the craftsmanship well. That's what sometimes makes quite a few foreign films sometimes can be superior to domestic ones. Especially in today's era, when sometimes a lot of foreign stuff is better than the domestic stuff. Like, take example, Godzilla Minus One. My favorite Godzilla film yet. And honestly, I think it's better than the MonsterVerse stuff. Now, back to Train to Busan. How was Train to Busan made? So, it was based on an original story created by Park Joo-suk. This team had tried the movements of the zombies in the game 7 Days to Die, movements of the dolls from Ghost in the Shell 2, and viewed the movement of the nurses in the video game Silent Hill. So, when it came to filming, the movie was filmed in various stations from Daejeon, Daejeon, and East Daeju. The water deer in the movie at the beginning of the film was created using real videos of water deer and 3D modeling. and the scenery that's seen outside the train of the film was shot with a lead plate rear technique. Behind the set was based on the interior of the KDXI, which facilitated the increased focus on the characters, and the blood vessels of the zombies were drawn with an airbrush. The zombies were styled differently depending on the progress of the infection. So after the film was officially shot and completed, Train to Busan would premiere at the midnight screen section of the 2016 Cannes Film Festival on May 13th. Then, around this time, on August 7th, it set a record for being the first Korean film in 2016 to break the audience record of over 10 million theater goers. And it successfully launched a series, apparently. There was an animated prequel that released the same year, a standalone sequel called Peninsula in 2020, which I guess I can check out as well after watching this. And another installment is in the works, and a American-produced adaptation. So basically an American-produced remake are going to be next. I don't know why. Do we seriously need to have an American adaptation of this story? This story is fine the way it is. This story is fine staying foreign. I wish it stayed foreign. It's more impactful that way. You got lucky with stuff like The Ring, but that's the one time you got lucky with that. Please don't try to Americanize this one. Alright, so here are the epic good qualities in the story of Train to Busan and what makes it so perfect. For starters, this movie, from start to finish, as soon as they get on the train, it's one exhilarating roller coaster ride from beginning to end. The zombies in their attack scenes are well executed, they're heartbreaking, they are a combination of practical and good computer generated effects. These monsters are very fast moving and relentless in their quest for human flesh. You really hear all the characters gasp and shriek when they see these zombies. These zombies don't just run or don't try to even chase the characters. No, these guys pile up in hordes. They pile up in piles and droves. They crash out the windows and they barrel through doors. There is no escape from these guys. In this one, not at all. You don't even have the time to think clearly. These zombies can break through anything. No matter what you hold close. Or even they can pile on top of each other to get to you quicker. You really hang on the edge of your seats the whole ride. These are zombies you have to use your wits to get away from. And of course, this film also is good at having melodrama. You have the power dynamic between Sek-woo and Suan. That's perfectly well done. Their scenes are so beautifully emotional. They're so perfect together on screen. We meet a cast of supporting characters whose fates are going to be following for the rest of the film. There's this man with his pregnant wife, a teenager with his girlfriend and another baseball team, this arrogant, evil, despicable businessman that only cares about himself, one you love to hate, one you want to see meet his end, these two elderly sisters and a homeless man, many others. We get enough introduction about who they are for us to care about what happens to them. And Gun-woo plays the flawed lead character Sok-woo very well. He convincingly portrays the development of this apathetic guy into a hero. Y'all root for to get through this whole zombie apocalypse alive. He was very great, and also great in the weepy dramatic scenes. Does well in making you shed tears for any of the sad scenes he has, and many of the great action scenes. And just about once they're on the train, the rest of the movie takes place on a train, and it's a very and you think a train seems perfectly fine. No, it's a very claustrophobic place when you're placed with a bunch of undead zombies, and it works well. At one point, they do try to get off a train, but guess what? The infected have already spread to that station, and so they have to get back on the train, and then they're pretty much on the train for a majority of the rest of the film. The tension, the drama, the survival instinct, and the resignation of the others. Train to Busan, in Train to Busan, there's nothing crazy action-packed. No, this is very realistic. You don't have it's not a Hollywoodized movie. No. You don't have a gun. You only have your family and pretty much everyone else, though, is pretty much dead. There's no escape. And you know very well that there's likely going to be nobody coming to save you. The only thing you have to get out of this alive is your wits. And be ready anytime. Because technically speaking, these zombies show up anywhere. Not just a train. Even on platforms, even at stations, you can't escape from these guys. You're pretty much if you're so you would not want to be in this movie world. If you were in this movie world and you had no knowledge of zombie outbreaks, you're screwed. So how do we start off the film? So our main protagonist, Suk Woo, a fund manager, is a workaholic and divorced father. He has this estranged daughter named Swan who wishes to spend her birthday with her mother in Busan. Since Suk Woo then sees a video of Swan attempting to sing Aloha Oi at her singing recital and succumbing to stage fright though because he was not there. So, Suk Woo feels bad about this, feels bad for not spending time with his daughter. So he decides to grant Swan's birthday wish. So, you already love this character. He's not a perfect character. He has flaws. He's not really there for his daughter. So, you don't have to make this character too much of a great guy when you first meet him. But that's the point. This is a character you like already. Like, that's the thing. He feels bad not being there for his daughter, so he pretty much grants his daughter's birthday wish to spend birthday with her mom and go to Busan to meet her mom. And I love the scenes they have together. Like, Suk Woo and Suwon are great on screen together. Like, they're one of the most emotional core of the film. I just loved their scenes together. They had such great father-daughter dynamic, man. Is it so hard for domestic films to try to have that kind of dynamic? Is it that hard? Like Korean films like this get it so right. Why can't the domestic film market or Hollywood try to get this done better? Like, seriously. So the next day, they board the KDX 101 at Seoul Station, going to Busan. And then you meet some other characters you're going to see in the film. You see this blue-collar worker, Sun Hwa, his pregnant wife, named Seon Kyung, this COO, Yeon Suk, this high school baseball team, like this one player and his cheerleader girlfriend. Like, and you know something, like, usually, like, the sport player jock characters usually can come off as arrogant in horror films. These guys are not. Even these guys are great, likable people. Like, they're not assholes, they're not perverts. Like, they're actually normal human beings. So I really like that. I like that we had jock players actually be normal human people in this film that actually care about one another. You have these two elderly sisters, Angel and John Dill, and this traumatized homeless stowaway that hides in the bathroom of the train. So just before departure, though, this ill woman boards unnoticed by anyone and immediately turns to a zombie, affects a train attendant, sparks a rapid outbreak on the train. And you know, like, you get a bit of a humorous bit with the homeless guy, like when the main character sees the homeless guy in the bathroom, he tells his daughter, that's what happens when you don't study. And now, obviously, yeah, it's in subtitles. The movie's not in English, but that's what the subtitle says at that bit. So the acting is spot on. The actors really do a great job, and like the child actress Suan Kim really nails it. Another one of the best child actor performances in any movie yet, and in horror as well. The zombie actors are very exceptional, and they really spook you so well. They have such heavy prosthetics of rotting flesh. Like, they are amazing to look at. Like, they are terrifying. The makeup on them is so well done. It has really all the effort put into it. The cinematography is so amazing. The story, like, even the whole story takes place during the daytime. So, and you know what? I'm glad it does. I'm glad it's not all overly dark and overly taking place at night the whole entire time. No. This whole play takes place during the brightly lit day. So guess what? You can actually see what happens. You actually can see the action better. Man, like, you really feel claustrophobic. You feel nervous. There's no cheap bumhouse tricks. There's no cheap jump scares. There's no shit lighting. The cuts are perfect. The colors are great. It's a really good looking movie. Like, sure, this flick at first is not so different in aspect, but it really carries on when we witness the shifting between the dynamics of the characters, how their personalities evolve and change. We find out about their motives, their relationships, the depths they would go for their loved ones whenever they're not dealing with the zombies. It has characters you love. It has characters you hated. Like the CEO guy that's demanding the train go, or even gets a few people killed. Guess what? He's so hateable, you love to hate him. You love to hate this guy. This guy's so despicable. Like, you want this guy to meet his end of the zombies. And an actor who plays him does well in making him such a hateable character. And the movie has a situation that's very believable under circumstances. Scary zombies, scary situations, no cheap jump scares that are built up well, jump scares you don't expect to ever have coming. Like, they really well and frighten the viewers. The movie even has such great emotion. Like there's several scenes I actually legitimately cried watching this, especially the very end of the movie. So so once this whole infection starts happening, the survivors on the train go to another car and they secure the doors. So news reports and phone calls then confirm there's a zombie epidemic going across the country. And so the train terminates at Daejeon Station. And well, just when you think, it's a dead empty station, it doesn't seem like nothing bad's going to happen. So the passengers slowly get off. And they exit for the town. You see this like army standing right there. You think they're like, maybe they're like blocking off. Like maybe they're blocking off some of the infected zombies. Once the passengers do get closer to that exit, oh, the horror doesn't stop there. That army is infected. And you find out too. Because they turn around. They're all turned to zombies. And guess what? That shows you nowhere in this movie is safe. Nowhere. You can't get off the train. Every other station is infected. There's no escape. Even if you try to get off the train, there's zombies all over the place. Zombies that are very smart. Like, the city's overrun by zombies, and they retreat to the train. Like, some of them don't even make it back because they're even using escalators. So that's even more terrifying situation right there. They get separated in different cars in the kiosk, and then Suk-woo learns from an employee that his company is apparently now responsible for the outbreak. And so they establish a quarantine zone near Busan, and the conductor sets the train's course for Busan, as if Busan's the one somewhat for now area that's actually safe from infection. So Suk-woo, San-hwa, and Yang-guk are pair up together. They fight through the zombie horde. They reunite with Swan, Sang-kyun, and Jill and the homeless man. And they go towards the front car, and the main passengers have taken shelter. And Yeon-suk and Train-tan Ki-chul, the passengers deny entry, though. And because they're fearing like they're going to get infected. It's like, yeah, I mean, the CEO guy is also literally such a nasty, selfish POS a lot of times. Like, one girl wants to go back one girl, is worried about her friends, one's worried about her sister, but the CEO's like, no, take off now. And now, yeah, I understand his fear, but to be fair, at the same time, this guy is such a coward. At the same time, now, at first you understand the CEO guys being reasonable, because, like, for one, you can't really wait because these zombies are very smart, but at the same time, in the later half, he proves to be such a bad person because he gets, like, the last two of the teenagers killed. He gets the conductor killed and leaves him to die. Like, this guy is still not a good person. Like, when you first meet him, this guy's already established as being greedy and arrogant. And that's why the actor does well in playing him and was well in making this guy such a jerk. So, San-hwa sees that the passengers won't allow entry as they fear getting infected, so he decides he's going to sacrifice himself so the others can force open a door and enter, but sadly, In-gil gets killed. And so, Yeon-suk, Ki-chul, and the passengers demand the survivors isolate themselves in the vestibule to avoid infecting everybody else, but Jeon-jil is distraught over her sister's death and disgusted by the passengers' callousness. Well, to be fair, them being scared of them makes sense because they were near some of the infected and they don't want to get infected themselves. They had to just outrun a bunch of infected that, literally, no matter what, can pile on top of each other and chase you in a large dog pile. Regardless, they can still move in a dog pile. They can break through glass. They can break through windows. Like, this shit is intense. So, Jeon-jil deliberately opens the door, allows the zombies to enter, and pretty much kill the main passengers in the car. So basically, she kills them. And Yeon-suk and Ki-chul escape, though, and hide in the bathroom. So this is the thing. If you plan to be a filmmaker, and if you want to make a zombie film in your filmography, if you want to watch an inspiration, yeah, there are plenty of zombie films to watch for inspiration. Dawn of the Dead, the original, and the remake. 28 Days Later. Night of the Living Dead, the original and the remake. Or what else can I think of? There's plenty of others. Dead Alive, Brain Dead by Peter Jackson. For a really, really, really intense and emotionally impactful zombie film, I would recommend this for inspiration and reference right there, because this is how to do a zombie movie in today's world. You know, it's not just a typical horror movie. It's one that has a realistic portrayal of human emotion, human actions, and really to be scary as like any really nightmare you'd be stuck in. And it really blows a lot of zombie attempts today right out of the water. Like World War Z is good, but it doesn't come close to this. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Is this movie train that's packed with zombies? Like, you can't communicate with law enforcement barely. You can't see what's happening outside world other than the TV. The only thing you can do is try to fight your way to survive until the train stops. And even when the train stops and you try to get off land, zombies will still chase you no matter where you go. The danger of being left in the dark really creates tension that really leaves you on the edge of your seat. It bites at your nails. You pray for the characters' safety. Like, you pray for the dad and daughter to get off the train safety. You really feel a connection with them. Like, that's the thing, though. But that's the saddest thing. No one is safe in this movie. No one, no matter what they do. Like, there's nothing off limits. Like, they do not play anything safe. Like, you really get the sense that anything could happen to these people at any time. One other thing I forgot to mention. For those also, like earlier when I was mentioning zombie films to watch, like, like if you're the game Resident Evil, if you're a huge Resident Evil fan, and all you got was those bad Paul W.S. Anderson films, and Welcome to Raccoon City, that also was an awful film. Well, the closest you would get to a good Resident Evil movie, guys, this too. Like, if you want to see the closest you would ever get to a good Resident Evil movie, this is one of them. You also have some VHS segments like, Stork from VHS Beyond, Safe Haven from VHS 2. You'd have those for short films, but for a full-length movie that would be close to a good Resident Evil movie, you would have this. You could watch this, and you could, you know what? You could just watch this, and you could just pretend this is a Resident Evil movie. Just pretend that. The closest you'd get to something like that. So, eventually, though, a blocked track at the Daju station forces survivors to stop and get off and search for another train. So, Yansuk escapes, pushes Kichu into the zombies. So, yeah, another thing we always mentioned about the teenagers. 3 of them die, so it's only the cheerleader and the main baseball player left for the majority of the film up until this scene. So, Yansuk, though, starts to demonstrate what a pretty awful person he is. So he throws Kichul to the zombies to die to save his ass. And so this other flaming locomotive derails and separates the group and traps Sig, Wog, Suwan, Sanki on the homeless man beneath this carriage swarming with zombies. And, like, that's the thing. Like, Yeonguk is, like, heartbroken over his cheerleader girlfriend. And so basically, instead of deciding to try to escape, he decides to basically stay until she turns to a zombie and kills him. Because really, his friends are dead, his girlfriend's dead, there's nothing really left for him now. So he's basically done. He pretty much lets his infected girlfriend kill him as kind of a way of like suicide. So the conductor is starting this other motive on this track, but Yansuk gets injured, and the conductor then gets out to help him, but then Yansuk repays the gratitude horribly by throwing the conductor to the zombies to die. Then Seokwoo finds a way from under the carriage, but falling debris blocks them, and so the homeless man decides to sacrifice himself so Seokwoo can get time to clear the debris, and so Seokwoo, Suwon, and San Kyeon escape, and they board the new locomotive. Then the group encounters Yansuk, who on the verge of turning now and begging for help, but Seokwoo sees he's infected and decides, no, I'm not going to help you. I can't help you. You're not infected. Then Seokwoo breaks down crying, and I really feel bad for him, to be honest, because this guy just got a few people killed. This guy got this random teenager killed. This guy got a conductor killed that basically saved him. So, in a way, a part of me was kind of glad. A part of me actually was kind of satisfied he got infected. So, Sok-woo, though, now sees that he's infected, and so he officially now is 100% infected at this rate. So he tries to push him off the train, but Yansuk bites him in the process. But he's able to push him off. And so, though, he puts Suan and Sang-kyeon inside the engine room. And this is where you get one of the saddest horror scenes yet. This scene actually had me on the verge of tears. Like, this scene was so heartbreaking and very well acted. Sok-woo pretty much teaches the two to operate the train and says a final farewell to his daughter. His daughter is sobbing that he doesn't want him to leave, and even he's on the verge of tears as well, but knows that he has to leave because he's infected now and knows he'll turn to a zombie and will probably kill them if he does not leave sooner, but because he only has a few moments left, so he then gets out, and then he reminisces Suwan's birth before, like, throwing himself off the train, before he can turn to a zombie. He pretty much makes a heartfelt, heroic sacrifice to save his daughter and what's going to be his daughter's new guardian. And very sad moments. Like, I was honestly still sad over this moment when I was filming the intro to kick off this review. It's easily one of the saddest horror bits. And you know what? I wish I saw this film before making that list. Because if I had saw this film, made that list after I saw this film, I would definitely put this on the spot. Where would I put it? I think I would tie this with The Fly, 1986, the ending of The Fly, for the top saddest horror moments yet. It's really filmed well in regards to the setting. Like, at first of the train, you get a realistic sense of claustrophobia, making scenes much more suspenseful. It nails all aspects what a good horror film should be. The incredible storyline allows for a simplistic and powerful ending. The acting is also a big plus. The actors provide an outstanding performance that gives the story a sense of perfectness. And the zombies are fast, relentless, terrifying, and nailed by an ordeal. And the setting of the train really adds an extra layer of tension. The survivors are forced to make split-second decisions in a tight confines of the carriages. And the movie really pulls no punches. Like I said before, I like it pulls no punches, respects the viewer's intelligence. The characters solve problems through clever means. No deus ex machina. The gore and violence are shown with disturbing steadiness and are not over the top, are not trying to be fun gore. They're actually trying to be very serious, realistic gore. And like the zombies, like that's another thing we got to mention about the zombies. I heard also that the zombies aren't really just typical zombies. They're portrayed as more like rabian-infected humans and nothing much more. Like, and even if they don't run as fast as the 20 Days Later zombies, like, they don't have super strength, but they're still smart. They can still break through anything, and they easily can catch up to you anytime. Like, alright, so now we get on with the finale of the movie. So, there's another block track, and so Suwon and Sang-kyeon have to stop the train before a tunnel outside Busan. They leave the train and continue on foot along the tracks through the tunnel. And so snipers stationed on the other side of the tunnel spot them. And they're about to shoot because they think for zombies, but as soon as they hear Swan in tears because she's still sad about the loss of her father, she sings Aloha Oi. And then, of course, the army realizes that they're actually survivors and they put down their guns. But Swan is still in tears singing, and the last thing you see is a close-up of her tear-filled face, singing Aloha Oi. When the song finishes, the movie is over, and you're just left speechless. You're still left in tears from what you saw earlier. And, like, you really still feel the impact as soon as this ends. I still do, even. So, that's how Train to Busan ends. Suwon and Sang-kyeon, they survive. They get rescued by the military, but everyone else is dead. The country's still in disarray. And the zombie plague is likely still going on to this day, and Suwon's father and probably even her mother are dead. So, they did survive, so those two got out alive, but Everyone else did not, sadly. And there's likely going to be no way to stop this infection. So, now do I have any bad qualities with this movie? You know what? No. That's surprising to hear this, but I don't have any bad qualities. I don't think I do. This is one of those horror movies in today's era, especially today's era, that to me is very flawless. Like, more zombie films need to take notes from this movie. They really do. Like, especially, I wish Holly Weird would actually try to take notes from this movie. Especially, for a lot of horror films today. Like, this film is better than a lot of horror films today. And I regret not seeing this sooner. This film was beautiful. Train to Busan is a beautiful, flawless masterpiece. You need to go watch this on Netflix right now. Do it. It's still on Netflix, guys. Go watch it right now. I really recommend this. So in the end, Train to Busan is so worth watching and buying for your collection because it's a perfectly flawless, amazing zombie masterpiece, and an even emotional one too that will definitely leave you wanting the tissues ready. So definitely make sure you have some tissues ready when you watch this film, because you're going to need them. Anyways, that's it for my epic movie review of Train to Busan. And when I rank Train to Busan, here's how I'm going to rank this movie. Obviously. So overall, if you really want a perfectly intense and emotionally tear-jerking zombie film, that would easily still watch it by Train to Busan for your collection for sure, no doubt. If we're going to go in Train to Busan, I'm going to give Train to Busan a full-blown 10 out of amazing 10. Alright, there we go, guys. That officially wraps up Train to Busan's epic review. So what's going to be our next episode? So, our next episode, we're going to be revisiting the horror days of Peter Jackson. This was the last horror film he did before going on to do Middle-earth. And it was one of Michael J. Fox's last live-action roles. Yes, people, The Frighteners is going to be the next episode. But now tell me in the comments down below what you guys who have seen Train to Busan think about Train to Busan. Whether you really love this movie. And until then, guys, that will be it for this epic movie review. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.